Hi, hello, welcome back to my channel, my book loving friends. My name is Christina if you're new here, and today we're going to go ahead and talk my 16 fantasy series that I want to read or finish in 2022. So this initially started out as, when I was planning out this video, initially it was just series that I want to read this year, but when I was at like 9 or 10, I realized that they were all fantasy. So I turned this into a fantasy series, books I want to finish / start in the year 2022. These are all based off of my physical TBR. These are not books that I currently don't own. These are all the ones that I currently own in my physical TBR, and there are 16. Okay, so we are going to go ahead and jump into it because it's going to be a very long video, and I don't want to edit it for very too long because it's Sunday and it's 3 o'clock and I just started filming. So, all right, so the very first book on this list is, of course, Throne of Glass by Sarah J. Maas. I think this is very repetitive. I probably say this in almost every single TBR video I have. But yes, I desperately want to read Throne of Glass by Sarah J. Maas. We all know I'm a Sarah J. Maas stan. This book has been on my TBR since I was in high school, and I'm a little intimidated by it because of how much I've loved every other thing that Sarah J. Maas has ever put out. And I'm a little nervous because I know she wrote this when she was 16. So I don't have very high hopes for like the first 3 books. But I know from like 4 to like I think 6, they're like impeccable. So I'm hesitant, but I'm ready, and I really do want to read this book. So I'm really hoping that I get through at least the first 3 this year, but I would ideally like to read all 6 or 7 that are in this series this entire year. But you know, I'm terrible at just reading series that I know I want to read, but for some reason I just procrastinate. I'm a level 1 procrastinator, all right? I don't know what it is, but it's true. So the second series I really want to finish because it's just a duology this year is going to end up being Vicious and Vengeful by V.E. Schwab. I've mentioned this before. I really want to read all of V.E. Schwab's backlist. I have read and adored and loved The Invisible Life of Addie LaRue. We all know this already, and I actually adored the first book I read off of her middle grade series. So I have heard amazing things about Vicious in particularly, and I just really want to read this. I just really want to see what all the hubb's about. I want to know everything that is to do with these 2 books. I just really I want to dive into more of V.E. Schwab, honestly. Since we are on the V.E. Schwab train, might as well. Number 3 on this list is the Darkest Shade of Magic trilogy. I really want to read all 3 of these. Me and Jen are supposed to be reading A Darkest Shade of Magic. I think we were supposed to buddy read it back in like May or June, and then we pushed it till I think like August, but then me and her told each other we would save it for the fall, and now it's January of the following year. So we'll get to this eventually this year. I know we will. I want to finish this trilogy. I really do, because I have a feeling I would love this trilogy. It sounds up my alley, and I just I really want to read it. All right, like I really want to read it. All right, so the 4th series I really want to continue this year is the Daughter of Smoke and Bone trilogy by LIAINI Taylor. I actually read a majority of Daughter of Smoke and Bone. I have to finish it. I don't know why I still have 30 pages of it, but let's not talk about it. I really loved the beginning of Daughter of Smoke and Bone. I was really invested into it. I still loved it. I still remember everything that happened. I should finish it, and I did like to finish the trilogy, but I want to get at least to the 2nd book in this trilogy this year. I just, the brand new covers give me all of the life that I need. I don't need anything else after that, like, honestly. But oh my god, is that last book a chunker? But yes, this is another series that I really want to get into. I loved the world that we were in. I love the characters that we met in the first book, and I just know that LIAINI Taylor's writing gets even better, so I want to go ahead and just continue this and really get invested into this trilogy. Here's where ambition hits, okay, so the 5th book I desperately want to read this year is The Way of Kings by Brandon Sanderson. Look, all right, I am not going to even attempt to say I'm going to read all 4 of the books that are out, because this book is 1,000 pages. Like, I'm pretty sure it's 1,000 pages. Am I wrong? I think it's just under 1,000. Oh my god, these are like thin pages. Goodness gracious. Oh no, I'm right. It's 1,001 pages. Holy hell. This book might take me all year to read whenever I do end up starting it. I just desperately want to find out what the heck Brandon Sanderson's all about. All right, because I have heard nothing but good things about Brandy Sandy from Erin from Booked and Busy, who I love and adore and watch her vlogs all the freaking time. I need to know why. Okay, because not only does she love it, but Reagan from Bruce Project also loves it. And I know a whole bunch of other booktubers that just live for this series. And I, being a fantasy lover that I am, just have a feeling this is up my alley, but I'm going to need an audiobook for a 1,000-page book. That's a given. I hope you understand that. But yeah, I have absolutely no idea what this book's about. I don't want to know anything. I just know that it's a very high fantasy, and I'm going to take my time with this book whenever I do pick it up. Like, I might take months reading this book, and I'm perfectly fine with that. Alrighty, I'm gonna start sounding like a broken record, because if you watched my top 22 books I want to read in 2022, a lot of these books are mentioned, so sorry in advance, but I really want to read a lot of fantasy this year. So the 6th book on this list that I really want to get to is Assassin's Apprentice by Robin Hobb. I ideally would like to actually read the entirety of the First Year trilogy that she has. Robin Hobb has a whole bunch of series that take place in this world, and I really want to dive into it. I've heard nothing but amazing things about Robin Hobb by so many booktubers, and she is adored, especially by fantasy booktubers, which I love fantasy. I really want to get back into it. I want to start reading way more fantasy, and in all honesty, I might be getting into this way sooner. And by sooner, I mean like probably today or tomorrow. Like, I really have been staring at this book. I want to start it so bad, and I have the audiobook via my library, so I might be starting this extremely soon. Okay, so stay tuned for that, because whenever I do, I'm most likely going to be vlogging it. But I really want to see what the heck this is all about, because I've heard that Robin Hobb can write. She can write, and this book came out when? Because I'm pretty sure this book's pretty damn old. 1995. Holy hell, this book's older than me. This book was published 3 years before, and I was like born. And the fact that it's lived up until now and it's still so hyped on BookTube needs to tell us something. All right, like, this is literally on my TBR cart, and it was literally on my coffee table because I literally want to pick this book up ASAP. So I'm in a very weird reading mood right now. I think I'm actually in a slump, so I think I just need something to really just kick me into gear, you know, and I think this is going to be it. And the 7th book on this list is actually another duology. I want to read both of these this year, and that is the Where Dreams Descend duology by Janella Angelis. I really want to read this because it just sounds like just the perfect vibe. This I feel like would be great to read during either now when it's cold or in the fall, because I just feel like this is just so atmospheric and it gives me everything I want and more. But I think I might save this a little bit more toward fall time because I just love the atmosphere that this I know it's going to give me. So I might save it, I might not, I don't know yet, but it's debatable. All right, so the 8th series on this list is The Strange Case of the Alchemist's Daughter trilogy. I have read The Strange Case of the Alchemist's Daughter, and I loved it. I loved it. I adored it. I have nothing bad to say. It was a 5 out of 5. It got me out of a reading slump. It was fan-freaking-tastic, okay? It was funny. It was so clever. My favorite thing about this, that I've mentioned it every single time that I talk about this book, is that they break the fourth wall, which means that they actually speak to the reader, and it's so fun, and the audiobooks are so quirky, and I just really want to get the second book. I actually am probably going to end up actually donating this book or trying to sell it, because I really want the hardback edition of all these trilogies, of all these books in the trilogy. Oh my god, I can't talk. But yeah, so I really need to read the second book. I know it's like, I think it's like the European travel of a gentle woman. I don't know. Possibly. It's like, it's around there. It's up here. I'll put it right here. That's the next book. The next book is right up here. But I really want to get into the series. I would like to ideally finish the trilogy this year, but in all realness, because we all know that I have very ambitious goals, I would like to at least get to the second book in this trilogy by the end of the year, because I loved this series. I loved this series because it was so freaking good, okay? I just realized that I'm putting most of these books away, and I'm going to need them for a thumbnail. I'll just pick the heaviest books and just call it a day. How does that sound? All right, so the 9th, is it 9? It's 9. The 9th book on this list is a chunker, okay? A very big chunker. I actually don't know if this is a series. Let me find out if this is a series first. Hold on. Okay, I don't think it's part of a series because it doesn't say so on Goodreads. but for the sake of this list, it's such a long book, I'll mention it anyway. But anyway, that book is The Priory, The Orange Tree by Shannon. Obviously, we all know this book is extremely hyped here on BookTube. I truly don't know if there is a series or not. I saw a couple of things saying that there might be a sequel, but in all honesty, I truly don't know. Goodreads doesn't say anything, so I don't think there actually will be. But this in itself is like massive, so we'll just count it, okay? But this is one of the fantasies I desperately want to get to this year. Once again, it's a very huge fantasy. I don't know what the heck it is about tomes in 2022, but I really want to get to like these large ass fantasy books, okay? So yeah, I've heard nothing but pretty good things about them. I've heard a couple of mixed reviews, but I do know that there's a dragon in here, so I'm very, very, very hesitant to pick this up because I just don't know if it will be my thing, but I desperately really do want to give it a chance, so at least there's that aspect of it. Okay, so the 10th series on this list that I really want to start in 2022 is A Curse So Dark and Lonely by Bridget Kemmer. That sounds weird, I'm sorry. So I actually just got this book for Christmas. This has been a book on my radar for quite some time. And I do know that Naomi from Naomi's Library loves this series. And I do know that Jan also, I know, enjoyed this series. I believe she enjoyed the first one. She was okay with the second one, and I think she liked the third one. If I'm not mistaken, I could have gotten that wrong, but I do think she enjoyed the first one. And I believe this is actually Beauty and the Beast retelling, which is my favorite type of retelling to read, so I am kind of hoping that that's right and accurate. But yeah, so I do know that this is definitely up my league. This has been something on my radar since high school. I've seen this for a very, very long time here on BookTube, and it sounds like my kind of fantasy that I would enjoy. There's definitely a romance in here, so we all know I love a fantastical romance. Most of my fantasies include fantastical romances because I love them so much. But yeah, so I'm definitely excited to get to this book. Okay, and the 11th book on this list is actually a book I'm extremely hyped for. It was super happy to get gifted for Christmas, and that is The Poppy War by R.F. KUANG. I am in love with these covers. In love with these covers. Like, I think the one thing pushing me to read this immediately are the covers. Like, I cannot tell you how much I love these covers so much, okay? But I just know this is going to break my heart. And I don't know what it is about books that make me cry, but like I really love to cry in books. I like it when they, when they hurt my heart. But I know this is going to kill me. At least I'm expecting myself to cry a whole bunch in this book. And I truly just can't wait for it. I've heard nothing but not just amazing things, but like outstanding things in this book. Like, everyone adores this story, every single one, and I heard it just gets better and better and better. Like, I don't even know how someone's able to do that, but I just cannot wait to dive into R.F. KUANG's writing, and I just know this is going to be a book I am going to absolutely get heartbroken for, and I'm excited about that. Okay, and the next book is actually a book I've owned for quite a while now, and I don't know why I haven't picked it up yet, because it's definitely a book I've been wanting to pick up and I've had in the back of my head for a very long time. But that book is An Ember in the Ashes by SABAA TAHIR. Once again, we all know, okay? This is a very hyped book on BookTube. Most of my TBR is. I fall for hype very, very easily. This was hyped years ago, and I literally finally just caved and bought it, I believe, the early of last year. So I think I pretty much bought this like probably around the same time this time last year. And I haven't picked it up yet, which is actually pretty weird for me because I know I was extremely excited when I did buy this. Once again, this does definitely sound up my alley. We know we have a badass female character. We are definitely going to be in some type of fantastical element. I do know. Yeah, captivating, heart-pounding fantasy, impossible to book down. That's what I love. And it's a beautiful book. Like, it really is. I like the pure white with the red right on top. Stunning book, stunning cover, stunning everything, and I really am hoping that I'll like this. I've heard very mixed reviews on this. I think that might be probably the reason that I've been a little hesitant to pick this up lately. I've heard mixed reviews, but I do think it's a book I would actually enjoy. So I really want to at least just read the first book, because that's the only one that I at least own. But I desperately really want to get into at least the Ember in the Ashes. I mixed that entire thing up. It's An Ember in the Ashes. I really want to get to at least the very first book and at least try to see what the series is all about. I am a little hesitant because of the mixed reviews, but in my own thinking of opinion, if I think I know my reading taste, I do think this is a book I actually might enjoy. So we'll see. All right, so we have another duology. I would like to read both of these books ideally, but for the fact that I haven't even read the first one, it's a problem, okay? And of course, that series is RAYBEARER by IFUEKO. I don't even know why I haven't read this yet. This has been on so many TBRs, it's been on so many Sabathon TBRs, it's been on so many lists of so many things, and I still haven't read it. And I now own the second book because I got it for Christmas. And I don't know why I haven't read this series yet. I don't even know why I haven't read the first book yet. But I know I'm going to love this book. Like, this is a 5-star prediction. Okay? It is a 5-star prediction. Why haven't I read it? Because I save my 5-star predictions and I just don't read them. Why? I don't know. I just don't read my 5-star predictions. I think it's because I'm scared that they won't be 5 stars. This is definitely a book I definitely want to get to by the end of the year because, oh my god, okay? One, let's just talk about the covers. Because they're stunning. They're absolutely stunning, okay? Like, just, gorgeous. Gorgeous. Gorgeous, gorgeous girls love gorgeous, gorgeous covers, okay? Can you tell I've been on TikTok for way too long? I actually deleted my TikTok app because I haven't been reading or doing absolutely anything. I've been on TikTok for like 2 hours when I get home. That's an issue. So I deleted it. Okay, and the 14th book that I really want to get to in the year 2022, this series I know I'm pretty much going to adore because I know Hannah adored it, and Jan actually got me this book, so thank you, Jan, again. And it is Kingdom of the Wicked by KERRI MANISCALCO. I just know I'm going to love this book. I know that there's a romance in here. The cover is stunning. It's pretty short, actually, which I like. I do know that this is definitely part of a series because the second book is out. And I know that Hannah from Hannah Recent Reads adored the second book. Like, she like fawned it over the second book. She absolutely just loved it, and I want to feel that way too. I really do. And Hannah's actually been trying to get me to read this book for quite some time, so I'm kind of hoping I do get to this really, really soon because I just know it's going to be a book that I think I will devour. Like, I think this is definitely a bingeable type of fantasy for me personally. Okay, so the next book is the 15th book on this list, and honestly, I think it's borderline fantastical romance. I think it's very, it could be a little bit of a stretch to call it fantasy. I think it's more romance than probably fantasy, but the fantastical elements of it, it's definitely a book very, very, very high on my radar. And of course, it is ABEL, which is the start of the Sabine Valley series by Katee Robert, which we all know has become probably one of my favorite authors. I love everything Katee Robert. Honestly, like, I've only read 3 books, and one of them was by Katee Robert this year, so just put that into perspective, okay? But Katee Robert is one of my favorite authors, and I know it's going to be a series that I'm going to absolutely devour, okay? Like, devour. Actually, let's thank my boyfriend because he got me this book. So thank you, baby, for purchasing this book for me. I love you. But this book, I just know there's going to be a lot of steam, which I love. There's going to be a lot of angst, which I love. There's going to be some fantasy, which I love, and a lot of love romance, which I adore. I'm very excited to read this. It's also a very short read. I don't think, yeah, oh, it's actually under 300 pages, so it's a pretty average book. It just looks very, very tiny, I guess, because I, just held up a couple of books that were, like, verging on 800 pages. So, yeah, I'm very excited to get to this. I really do hope I'm at least able to finish this book. I think there are 2 books out, and there might be a 3rd being released this year. I'm not entirely sure. But at the very least, the first one, because I at least own the first one. Honestly, with my track record, I might end up owning the entire series that has been released by the end of the year. And finally, the very last book on this list, is Crooked Kingdom by Leigh Bardugo. Now, here's the thing, okay? The only reason I want to read this book is to get it read, okay? One, red sprayed edges, definitely motivation. It's also very pretty, really big motivation. But I did not like Six of Crows, okay? I have a very unpopular opinion about it, but a lot of me and my friends read it, and honestly, I just don't. 1, I didn't care. 2, I forgot what the heck the whole damn heist was about the entire time. Like, literally, we got halfway through, I'm like, what the fuck are they trying to get? Like, what are they doing? Like, I don't even know what the point of this book is anymore. I think I gave it, like, 4 stars, but ideally, it's probably, like, 2.5. Like, I just did not understand the whole hype around it. It was probably the one book that I was just the unpopular opinion. Because usually I hop on that hype train, okay? I love usually every single book that's hyped. That was not one of them. I had extremely high expectations, and they were extremely disappointed at the end because I did not like it. Now, this is a book I want to get to because this is the book that might just make me just get rid of this entire series in general. Because one, it's only a duology anyway, but I don't know if I want to keep it. Okay, these are two very large hardbacks, and they take up space on my shelves, all right? Like, I just don't, I don't really care for them. So I want to read this book to see if I need to get rid of both of the books and to just get it off of my, like, want to read shelf and just see and give it a second chance. Because this might change my opinion. Okay, this might be, like, 4 out of 5 stars or 4 or 5 stars. Who knows? This might even be 3 stars. Who the heck cares? But, I just really want to get this read so I can just, you know, get it over with, in all honesty. I just want to get this over with, so there's that aspect. And that's the end of this freaking video. That took me half an hour to film. Why do I do this to myself? Alrighty, so this is the end of the video. Please let me know some fantasies that you guys are actually keeping your eyes out on. Let me know some fantasy releases that you guys actually are watching out for. Let me know some fantasy series that you guys really want to read by the end of the year. If you guys liked the video, please like and comment. I literally respond to every single comment that you guys actually put on here. Please share and please subscribe if you haven't already. Please stay tuned for some more bookage content from me, and I'll see you guys in a video coming soon. Bye. What you believe in.